Assalamu alaikum class. In this video we will learn exercise 1.3 linear inequalities. So at first we will discuss that what is meant by linear inequalities. We have recently discussed the linear equations. Linear means the maximum power of the variable must be 1, and for the linear inequalities, so as we have discussed about the equation, that a mathematical statement containing the sign of equality is named as equation. Similarly, a mathematical statement with the sign of inequality is named as inequality. And what are the signs of inequality? That is less, greater, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So if a mathematical statement is containing any one of these signs, then that statement is named as an inequality. And if the maximum power of the variable is 1, that inequality will be named as linear inequality. So there are some notations related to the linear inequalities. The first one is about the interval notation, that what is meant by the interval and what is the basic geometric meaning of the interval. So if we are asked to write down a set of real numbers 0 and 1, it means we can easily write down a set with the two elements 0 and 1. So this is named as a tabular form of a set. So whenever we are having a finite number of elements, we are always able to write down the tabular form of the set. But while on the other side, if we are asked to write down a set of real numbers between 0 and 1, as we know that there are infinitely many real numbers between 0 and 1, like 0 0.5, 0 0.1, 0 0.01, 0 0.999, 0 0.0001. So there are infinitely many real numbers between any two real numbers. So we are not able to write down all the real numbers in this tabular form. So what we are going to do, we can write an inequality notation, that is x is lying between 0 and 1, or 0 is less than x less than 1. And whenever we write down an inequality notation, we must be able to write down an interval notation too. Now what is the interval notation? This is the interval notation, the open interval 0 to 1. The small brackets are representing the open interval. Open interval means the endpoints are not a part of the set. So basically interval itself is a set, but it is just a notation when we are not able to write down the tabular form, or we are not able to list out all the numbers. We will go towards the interval notation. So here we have the open intervals. If we are having the small brackets, then these are named as the open interval, that is endpoints are not included. While on the other side, if the endpoints are including in the interval, that is we have to take x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. Although x is lying between 0 and 1, also x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1, then we introduce a closed interval, and for closed interval we use the square brackets. So for small brackets we have to use the open interval, and square brackets always represents the closed interval, that is the endpoints are including. So here we have an inequality, 1 is less than x less than or equal to 2. So it means the interval is going to be open from 1 and 2, closed from 2, because it is the point 2 is included. So we have closed from 2 and open from 1, because 1 is not a part of the interval. One more thing about the interval, that whenever you are going to write down an interval, you have to follow the pattern of the real line, that is the smaller number should come first and then the greater number. For example, you can not write it as the interval 2 to 1, because on the real line we move from left to right, not from the right to left. So we have to follow the pattern of the real line, that the smaller number must come first endpoint, and then the greater number. Similarly, if we have an inequality, 3 is greater than x greater than or equal to 0. So here I'm not going to write it the interval from 3 to 0, because this is not the correct. 3 is not less than 0, or we cannot move from 3 to 0. So we have to write down the inequality in the form 0 is less than or equal to x less than 3. We are just reversing the inequality, and then the corresponding interval is 0 to 3, closed from 0 because the equality sign is including, and open from 3. These are the intervals when the both endpoints are defined. But what about the inequality when only one endpoint is defined? For example, x is greater than 2. So when we have x is greater than 2, so come to the real line, here we have 1 2 3 and so on. So greater than 2 means all the numbers that are greater than 2. So here you can see 3 4 5 6 and so on. So it is approaching to positive infinity. So the interval is going to be 2 to infinity, as the equality sign is not mentioned over here. So we will use open interval. So open interval 2 to infinity. The infinity side is always remain open because we can never take x is equal to infinity, as we have discussed in case of in the section 1.1, that we have to avoid the infinity terms from the domain and we have to remove the numbers that are going to make the expression infinity. So similarly, we can never take x is equal to infinity, that's why we must use open interval at the side of infinity. What about if we have x is less than or equal to 3? So less than 3 means I have to go backward from 3, so minus infinity to 3 will be the corresponding interval. All these elements are less than 3 and equality means we have to use the close bracket here, but it must be open from infinity. When we have x is greater than or equal to minus 1 greater means we have to move towards the positive infinity, and this equality sign will mention the close interval from minus 1 but open from infinity. Here we have some questions. Rewrite in inequality notation, that is an interval is given to you and you have to write down the corresponding inequality. Minus 4 to 8 open interval, so minus 4 is less than x less than 8. When we have minus 3 to 3 open from minus 3 and close from 3 means minus 3 is less than x less than or equal to 3. Then minus infinity to 7, minus infinity means all the elements are less than 7, so x is less than 7. Being open interval, we are just using the sign of less, otherwise we have to use less than or equal to 7. In the next question you have to write down the interval notation. So we are given with an equality, question number 8, minus 5 is less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5, so the close interval minus 5 to 5. For question number 10, minus 4 is less than or equal to x less than 5, we have a semi close interval closed from minus 4 but open from 5. And for question number 12, x is greater than 3. Greater than 3 means we are moving towards infinity, so 3 to infinity open interval. Then in the next part you have to write down the interval and inequality notation both. So in question number 14 we are given with the interval minus 5 close from minus 5 and open from 5, that is minus 5 is less than or equal to x less than 5. And this one is mentioning 1 to infinity. 1 to infinity means x is greater than 1, the open interval. In the next part we are going to discuss about union and intersection of the intervals, but at first we will discuss about the union and intersection of the sets. So we all know that A union B means the set containing the elements that are present in A or in B. So union always corresponds to the word or, and intersection is basically the set that set of elements that are present in A and in B, that is intersection always corresponds to and, that it must present in the both sets. For example, if A is equal to 1 2 3 and B is the set containing 3 4 and 7, then their union is going to be 1 2 3 4 7. Why 1 2 3 4? 1 2 3 being the element of A and 3 is already present in the union being the element of A, then we have to write down 4 and 7 because these are elements of B. And for intersection we have to write down the set of elements which are present in A as well as in B. So 3 is the only element which is present in both, so the intersection is going to be 3 in this case. Here we have match problem 2. You can check example 2 easily. So here we have intervals D, E and F. So interval D is minus 4 to 1, interval E is minus 1 to 3 and F is 2 to infinity. We have to find out D union E. So whenever we are dealing with intervals, it's always better to write down or graph the interval on the real line, which is quite helpful to define the union and intersection. So when we have a D union E, so here I have drawn the real line, and then the interval D is from minus 4 to 1. So here you can see I have mentioned minus 4 to 1. This dot is representing that this point is included and the whole is representing that the 1 is not a part of the interval. So next, the interval E is minus 1 to 3. So here minus 1 is not a part, so I'm using a whole over here and included the 3, so a dot over here. So you can see that I can easily write down the intersection now. These parts or these elements will be a part of the union just because these are the part of D, and these elements will belong to the union because these belong to the both D and E, and these elements will belong just because these are a part of E. So basically whenever we are going to find out a union, start from the minimum and end to the maximum if there is no gap or no jump in the interval. So you can see we can easily move from minus 4 to 3 without any jump or gap. So the union in interval is going to be minus 4 to 3, close from minus 4 and closed from 3 as well. So the intervals tells you about the information that either the corresponding interval or the resultant interval is going to be closed or open. It all depends on the endpoints we are talking about or we are dealing with. Next we have D intersection E. So intersection means the set of elements present in both A and B. So if we are talking about the set of elements that are present in both sets, it means this double line will represent the intersection part, because these are the parts of D as well as E. So -1 to 1. Now open from -1 and open from 1 to. Next we have E intersection F. So here I have draw the graph of the intervals E and F. So here is the graph of E -1 to 3, and here is the graph of F 2 to infinity, that is starting from 2 and moving towards infinity. So union is clearly from -1 to infinity, and when we talk about the intersection, here is the intersection part or the crossing part, so it is going to be 2 to 3. So it must be closed from 2 and closed from 3. Now in next part of the exercise we are going to solve the questions in which we have to find out the intersection and union of the intervals. So in question number 32 we have to write down the intersection -5 to 5 and 4 to 7. So here I have mentioned -5 to 5 and 4 to 7, and here is the intersection part 4 to 5, closed from 4 and open from 5. Then we have question number 34, -1 to 4 union 2 to 6. So here you can see that we can easily move from -1 to 6 without any jump or gap. So it is from -1 to 6, closed from -1, closed from 6. Then we have question number 36, intersection of -infinity to 1 and 2 to infinity. So you can easily see that there is no intersecting part, or there is no double line, or there is no crossing area where we can say that these are the part of the intersection, because nothing is common in these two intervals. So the intersection is going to be the null set in this case. Then we have question number 38, -1 to 6 union 9 to infinity. So again in this case you can see that we can move from -1 from 1 to 6 and then 9 to infinity. And when we talk about the union, we will start from 1 to 6, but there is a jump or a gap over here. That's why I cannot write down the one single interval in this case. So the answer will be in the same form, that 1 to 6 and then union 9 to infinity. That is, we are talking about the union of the two intervals that cannot be write down in the one single interval because of this jump or gap. So whenever the intersection is null set, the union is always is the combination of the two intervals. It cannot be a one single interval in such cases. Then we have question number 40, intersection of the interval 2 to 3 and 1 to 5. So clearly its intersection will be 2 to 3 because it is totally contained in the other one. Then we have question number 32, -3 to 2 union 0 to infinity. Clearly it will start from -3 up to infinity because intersection is not null set. There is some part which is common, so I can write down the one single interval for this. So -3 to infinity in this case.